Hi, it's James Harrison. I'm back to talk to you about another snare drum I have today. If I was going to talk about unique snare drums, this is definitely one of the most unique, bizarre snare drums I've ever owned or seen. They don't make them anymore, but Peavey years ago came out with these drums. They were called the Radial Pro. I'm going to open this basket a little bit. It's a maple shell, and the lug inserts go inside this giant wood Saturn type thing. So from the inside of the drum, when you look in, you do not see any hardware except for the strainers being attached. They go through this solid piece of wood. The lug inserts go into this ring that you see from this angle. It weighs a ton. It's very expensive, or expensive at the time, very heavy, and it's got a throw off on either side of the drum. So you can adjust it even tighter if you want to. It's kind of a unique type drum in that way. Because you have the way to, go from a, I guess I'd say off to a medium to a tight. I've never really used that feature. I do have to say that normally I have their heads opposite where the badge is, and this one I don't. This has been sitting for quite a while. I have all my drums on a shelf for display. Okay, so here it is. No muffling of any kind. As you can see, it's quite resonant. I'm going to tighten the snares up just a tad. This drum right now is tuned on the lower side. Okay, I'm going to take the Vader Buzzkill, put it on here, dry up the drum a little bit. Took quite a bit away. The snares are still rather loose, and the reason I do that is because the other one, I can flip it on and make it super tight. If I don't have a good discrepancy between them, then when I turn it on, it's over tightened. Somewhat of a collector's item now. They've been discontinued for quite a while. I believe these came out in the 90s. A friend of mine, a great drummer named Bobby Rock, used to be a Peavey artist, and he would tour and do concerts at stores and stuff. And he had one that they ended up, as far as I know, never putting it on the market. But it was a brass one that was really cool. So now I've got both turned on. Both snares turned on at opposite things, so it pulls the snares even tighter. It's a great drum. I've got it tuned right now. Obviously, I could crank it up more. I kind of avoid doing that. I know when Roy Burns was an artist for Peavey at one time, he was telling me, be careful, if you want to crank it up too much, you could pull the inserts out. So I never did crank this to just incredible crack, just because I was worried about that. But I have used it several times. If I had a complaint, it would be because it has this extra bit of wood on the outside and double strainers that stick out so far, it's very difficult to find a case to put it in. It's pretty much impossible to find a round case. unless you're going to get one that's almost 15.5 to 16 inches. Or just get a square case, and then you could put it oblong on there. So there's no snares on. Kind of a medium. Even tighter. So it does have some cool features about it that are really cool. Again, it's very heavy. Peavey. The Radial Pro 1000 was the wood drums. The 700 and the 500 series, I have a 500 aluminum one, had synthetic rings on it instead of wood. It was kind of reversed, where they had like 2 rings with a regular shell, where this is one giant ring. It's very kind of much like it, probably way ahead of its time in terms of design. So again, this drum, actually the last time I probably had it out, I had a classic clear on the bottom of it, so that obviously had to be a long time ago, because I haven't been an accordion endorser for a long, long time. But it's classic clear bottom head on it right now. Coated Ambassador on the top, you know, that's one of my go-to heads. So it's, if you can find them, and I see them pop up on eBay and Reverb and stuff now and then. They're definitely unique, somewhat of a collector's item. In fact, I know a guy who's got several because he collects them. So this is the only 1000 I have. Again, it's kind of a space station design, way ahead of its time. Didn't really take off, probably because of the uniqueness of it. A lot of people were just afraid to jump on board because they created an entire drum set made this way. Although the toms had separate rings on the top and bottom versus one giant thing. It would have been too heavy for the tom mounts to do that. So great drum in a lot of ways. I have avoided cranking it up super, super high, although I think it would sound good. I just avoided that because I didn't want to create a problem, especially now that they're no longer made and you can't get any kind of replacement parts for it. So there you go, the Peavey Radial Pro 1000. Thanks.